a little bit further into the game now, and things are certainly hotting up. Things going better for the whites than the reds, it has to be said. The reds have struggled to get across this open space, and they've been shot up pretty badly in the process. Neither side's within small arms range of one another at the moment, but the reds have not been moving very swiftly, and the second white fighter is now in action and has been strafing the Red Army as it comes across with noticeable effect. I'm taking, rather than routing companies, I'm taking them off immediately, and they've lost an artillery piece that got strafed badly, and then this checker company here had to retire, and we've got a considerable number of terror markers on them now. I think I said before that, no, or maybe I didn't, that basically you rout when you've got more terror markers than you have stands, but also when you actually get to the point where you're firing or fighting in melee, for each terror marker you deduct the value of one stand. So effectively at the moment that company has only got one platoon that's able to fight. It's not too difficult to rally them off, but it's a nice sort of mechanism. What else has been happening? Oh yeah, lots of the armoured cars are now in action. One of them has been struck by a shell from the armoured train and destroyed, but the other one is also machine gunning the Reds as they come across. And the armoured train on the Red side, it is going to make the difference to this game, I think, because the Red Army is now down to two pieces of artillery, which I'm trying to get them to unlimber, but they keep refusing the orders and advancing, so hopefully they'll be unlimbered in a minute. But it's the stationary armoured train that is now contributing the kind of artillery support. As I said earlier, it was the train that destroyed the armoured car with one of its guns, and it's also the front gun has got an angle on these two approaching tanks, but hasn't been able to hit them so far. But the tanks have been hitting. The tank with the mail tank has had two hits on the front car of this armoured train, and when it gets three hits, then you don't destroy the cars, but they cease to be effective. So that would knock out two of the train's guns. And meanwhile, the White Army is advancing rapidly. I'm using centimetres instead of inches, and that's working out well as well, because if I were using inches, then they would have been virtually across the table by now. So again, this is another example of where tying the dovetailing black powder and red actions together does really seem to be working quite well. Two of the artillery have limbered and are now moving up, whereas these ones on the hill, or hills, have got quite a good field of fire. Their range would reach about here, so they will be able to open fire on the advancing Red Army when they get a little bit closer. So it's turning into quite a good battle. The one thing that I'm still pondering what to do is that I'll show you these cards now. As you can see, a lot of the troop types have a particular speciality. So the naval infantry have this value, storm. The checker company have specialists. Red regulars don't have anything. Red guard and mob. Because I've amalgamated a lot of these companies into brigades, as it were, with one officer commanding them. I'm trying to work out what to do about applying these specialist attributes when it comes to, say, charging. I think what I can do is, I don't think it's a problem. It'll be a bit like in Black Powder if you commanded a brigade that was composed of units, some of which had ferocious abilities and some didn't, and so on. So I think that'll work out all right. Yeah, but I'm really enjoying this. It's looking good as well. I think it's these whites here are similarly making quite rapid strides. I'm holding the kind of cavalry back and advancing the infantry first of all. So they will presumably be met by a hail of machine gun bullets soon. But yeah, it's turning into a good game. More to come later.